For 5 minutes you get transported 30 years into the future. You sit in front of a computer. What information do you look up? I panic for 5 minutes. Same. I feel like I would waste the time arguing with myself about what to look up and end up finding mostly useless info. Like science info. I don't understand the science of, or financial info that I don't understand, and all of it would be so recent I wouldn't understand the context. That'd be the first 2 minutes, and then I'd panic and beat myself up for wasting time and then not managing to find any useful info. I'd go back home and be depressed for years about the wasted opportunity. Okay, I'm going to type. Wait. Where is the keyboard? Picks up mouse. Hello computer. Just use the keyboard. A keyboard? How quaint. That's the ticket, laddie. I did not expect a STVH reference today. Nuclear vessels. It's across the bay, in Alameda. Okay, well, everyone remember where we parked. Well, double dumbass on you. I'm surprised at how many Star Trek fans there are in this thread, to be honest. I get that reference. You've never used a Neuralink thought-to-text input device. Shaking my head. The two guys snickering in the corner, hee hee, this idiot doesn't even know how to use the anal keyboard. If possible, I try to save that file and send it to my phone. Probably do that for 2022 all the way to 2051. Web link. I just looked at that page. Imagine seeing the United States becomes the first country to surpass 500,000 deaths from the virus. Without knowing about the pandemic. Crazy. My name. Knowing my own future scares me. I hesitate about that answer, but I will almost consider looking up my son's. He's only a toddler, so he'd be a full-fledged adult by that time. Even then, I don't know if I like the answer. Perhaps that's why the majority are lottery numbers or stocks. At least with money, we could live without financial worry. Paradox: if you see your future and you're successful, you might be lazy knowing this information, which makes you not successful. But the thing is, how do you see yourself successful in the future if you aren't? This is literally the only answer. It won't do any good to know stock prices if you slipped on a banana peel and died immediately after arriving back. Get double trench foot and amputate your feet. Banana peel ain't got crap on me. Later, a banana peel gets stuck in your wheelchair brakes, not letting you stop. You roll right out into traffic, and a banana truck runs you over. The banana always wins. Then your children collect your life insurance. There's always money in the banana stand. Biggest companies founded in the 2020s. List of presidents. And major world events. 3 tabs, 3 Google searches, and hopefully a pen to write them on my hand and hope it transfers back. Google 4 to 5 stocks that went to the moon, and etch that crap into your arms along with 5 to 10 duds. Who cares if you come home with 2nd grade pencil war day injuries? You're about to theoretically live forever. Snap a few photos of the injuries, and go to the police to report being jumped by a homeless guy that held you down and etched some weird crap into you under threat of death while reciting Latin. Now you have a cover story for then. The SEC wants to know how you knew BCRX and 4 other stocks were going to the moon. A homeless guy carved it into me, and honestly, I took it as a sign. Now produce tapes of the therapy where you rationalize it to your therapist as a coping mechanism, and the therapist tells you that you're absolutely not handling the trauma well. I also dropped all this money into these stocks that were May, so I guess I just got lucky. Don't finger any of the guys they bring into a lineup because 1, that's gross, and 2, that's mean, but let it slide as an unsolved case. You've now covered your tracks and tossed some chaff into the air to boot, so you can just wait this out. You only need to pull in about $500,000 if you're in your 30s, twice that in your 40s, and twice that again in your 50s. Then sell and diversify, as depending on the type of time travel physics you're dealing with, your actions may ripple outward and affect the final outcome, all of the butterfly effect. You don't want to wake up one day with no figurative arms because you effed with figurative firecrackers, so now you figuratively need your mom to literally jerk you off. Take your winnings and sink them into broad index funds. You can expect a diverse index fund to double about once a decade, 7 years really, but I prefer to use conservative numbers when calculating temporal investments. 1 million in 7 years becomes 4 million in 21 years, allowing you to retire in your 50s. That's more than enough for a comfortable life on self-sustaining investment. Got to remember, the younger you are when you do this, the more likely life extension therapies will be available while you're in retirement. They will be incredibly expensive at first, I'm sure, so if you're ready with the cash in hand, you can delay your death until therapies improve to the point of adding more than 1 year on average to life expectancy every year. That is how you turn your time travel investments into a theoretical eternal life. Thank you for listening to my day drinking rant. Here's to being in quarantine for the 4th effing time in a year because my coworkers can't stop licking doorknobs. Edit. Only edit I'll make is to address fans of the lotto method. Instant money rarely results in happiness. I would rather spend 30 years knowing my future is secure than have a level of wealth that alters my life and relationships with friends and family forever. You can't hide that kind of wealth, and it's never enough to help everyone who deserves it. This is my selfish fantasy. I want security, not wealth. Lol. This is way too detailed not to be a personal account of something you actually experienced. The summer of 2020 was wild. DFE side account? The only evidence I have that I'm not that guy is I used to live stream rotting meat on the internet for fun and oddly enough zero profit. The project cost me like $30 in ground beef. Would a day trader devote hours a week to meat streaming? This is absolutely something I could see a day trader do, or more likely swing trader. Check the markets for 3 hours, go check on the rotting meat, talk about entropy and decay on the camera next to the rotting meat, eat dinner, beat meat, sleep, repeat. Maybe some uppers or micro-dosing tossed in there for some reason. Who are you and why are you watching me? Didn't know such passions as meat streaming existed until now, till thanks/user hot ham water bath, Reddit link. Bro. This is awesome. And also ridiculous because there's nothing illegal with selecting stocks that go to the moon. Many people do that all the time and the SEC doesn't care. Also FYI, insider trading laws only apply to legal insiders, who are people specifically designated as insiders by the company, which you would not be, so there's zero reason the SEC would even look at you. I'm sure the SEC's Temporal Trading Committee would beg to differ. Their suits are made from the fabric of space-time from what I hear. Allah. Allah is God in Islam. You're looking for Allah, or in the styling of. It was autocorrect and I rolled with it cause alcohol. Allah take the keyboard. In line with major world events, I'd also look up the most recent, high-resolution world map, to see how far climate change and sea level rise have affected the world. Can you short housing in Florida? Because I just realized I need to find a way to make money off of Florida sinking into the ocean. Lol, I wouldn't want to be this guy when Aquaman comes in and buys all that property. Clearly, I'm looking up biggest lottery winnings. Or top 10 Fortune 500 companies. You could also see if crypto has stuck around and which exploded, not to mention sports betting on major events could net you some serious cash. Sports? Haven't you seen Back to the Future 2? I've always wondered if you could go into the future, what would you look up? Blah blah questions were answered with sports scores prior to Back to the Future 2. It is the wrong answer. So were people always wrong, or did the movie start that trend? Even extremely rare horse bets pay out like what, 50 to 1? With a single winning lottery ticket you can turn $1 into $300 million. It's not a single horse that make huge payout, it's the 4 or 5 first, depend on the races, rules, countries. So basically, if you can guess the order and 1 or 2 horses have high odds, it's jackpot. Imagine something like 41 to 3.21 to 51 to 77 1 to 9 1 and you bet it? 100 on that specific order. Edit. Just to give you an idea, yesterday in France there was the main race of the day R1C4, the Comté, plus. Bet on the first 5, was 7 6 8 12 10, a highly improbable top 5, the favorite isn't even here. If you did choose these 5 ones, it would be, that specific order, €292,125 for €1 these 5, but not in that order, €2,643 for €1. So now, you can understand how easy it would be to make a million like Biff if you had the complete result of just one race. I mean, if we're doing ridiculous odds, fill an entire NCAA March bracket accurately. I already did that. Left my bracket empty for 2020. Still waiting for my dollar. Sounds like NCAA fraud. Demand a recount. Sports betting is harder in my opinion because the payouts tend to be a modest ratio, and making larger and larger wages and constantly winning might get you blacklisted. Horse racing might be one of the best options here, as those have some pretty high odds, especially for picking multiple outcomes in one wager. Lotto is a lot easier. $1 or $2 ticket can have a $300 million payout, so it's low investment and you only need to do it once. That's more than enough money to travel the world for the rest of your life in moderate luxury, especially if it's invested in anything reasonable. Edit. I'm getting a lot of replies about how much money you could spend per night with $300 million. I think you misunderstood my point. I'm saying that $300 million in a single win is more than enough, versus having to parlay multiple sports bets. Do the numbers a day before the lottery so you don't have to share with the person that was actually going to win it. Or you look for lotteries that did not have winners in the first round, then win that way. No, you look for the lottery that shows your own name as the winner. Depends on what theory of time travel you subscribe to. If it is one continuous timeline, then yes, you already won a lottery. If instead it's alternate timelines, then the timeline where you win the lottery with future knowledge doesn't exist until you do it. We will do this. Web link. Where's my daughter? She'd be 50 by then. This is the first time I've seen this mentioned and was also my first thought. My son would be 33, I'd love to know if he was happy. And our /AskReddit thread about what stocks a time traveler from 30 years ago should buy to maximize their earnings. Reddit link. Time traveler from 30 years ago, what stock should I buy? 2021 guy. Apple TT, nah, they haven't been any good since they kicked Steve Jobs out. Domino's and Netflix had the greatest return in the past decade. Edit, I had no idea my off-the-cuff comment would be this popular. If you're interested, this is what I had read and was thinking about when I made the comment. Web link. Yeah, but this dude is 30 years ago. Domino's was around, but Netflix I'm pretty sure wasn't a thing in the 90s. Netflix did mail order videos before they were a streaming service. They IPO'd in 2002 for $15/share. I still have Toy Story 2 DVD from Netflix that I never returned. Most expensive DVD I own. I had a DVD for 4+ months when I was really busy. Then I went to watch it and it was subtitled, which I wasn't up for at the time. So I returned it without watching, having paid something like $45 for the privilege of babysitting that DVD. This is some serious John Titor crap right here. El Psi Congru. Reddit has been banned because of the Holocausts of 2034. How many are you planning? Looking up the biggest upsets in recent sports history and betting my bank account on each. You want to look out for a crazy wild-eyed scientist or a kid. Tiny Gun Biff is the best Biff. Yeah, the last person who did that ended up being president. Which crypto went to Andromeda? And the winning lottery numbers 30 years ago, then go back, win the lottery and buy crypto. Also buy the Sport Almanac, put the winnings in said crypto. Then you go back and realize the reason the crypto went to the sky is yourself. Holy crap, that's true. Congratulations. You're a self-made man. Repeat the cycle until you take over the universe. I only need to win the lottery once. Pay off everything, put a chunk into whatever stock/crypto is going to the moon, the rest in savings to live off the interest until then and never touch the principal amount. Is COVID gone? No? Okay. Just 2 more weeks and the Mars variant is gone for sure, hang in there. Damn you, Elon. 30 years to flatten the curve. Oh hi COVID-49. I think I might look at social media et al. To see what people are nostalgic about and miss from 30 years ago and try to enjoy it more when I go back. My dude, you already know what people are going to miss in 30 years. Spend time with your loved ones, friends, and family alike. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Take risks. Truth be told, right now I'm mostly nostalgic about all the crap we can't do during COVID. Holy crap, do I want to go to a concert, or sit at a bar with some crappy 80s music blaring and play pool. I'll just take my 8 terabytes drive and copy the entire content of Wikipedia to it, return to my timeline and spend the next 20 hours reading it and making a fortune by the second. The guy who thought to bring a stack of floppy disks from 1991 to our time is having trouble copying valuable information from our modern computers. Someone said I could buy one from the Amazon, but WTF were they talking about? Gets run over by a logging tractor the middle of the Amazon rainforest. You need to get lucky and hope that computers have USB ports compatible with your cables. You need, at minimum, a compatible port. My guess is the average computer will have 0 ports by then. An OS that has driver support for a 30-year-old drive. An OS that has a file system that works with your drive. An OS that has support for physical external drives at all. Data bloat to have not rendered 8 terabytes unhelpful. Wikipedia to have avoided, for 3 decades, the crafty trend of making internet content crappy Java nonsense that can't easily be indexed. This plan is not going to work. Wouldn't that take longer than 5 minutes? What if that kind of drive is obsolete in 30 years? Like someone from 30 years ago, showing up with a floppy disk? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.